Welcome in, trainers. Bonny here, or you can call me the Professor. My assistant Toasty and I have been studying ultra wormholes and Pokemon from across the Multiverse. Let's get started. Ramos, a grass-type gym leader from Unova, observed his flora suffering from a strange infection. This man's known for his green thumb, so he knew something was up immediately. Hate to say it, but it looks like... Professor, don't do it! There's a fungus among us. All I know is that today's case revolves around parallels from a world where parasitic fungi rule supreme. Trainers, this Pokemon is all too cute, but don't be deceived. We have no idea what the long-term effects of potential infection will look like. Stay frosty.
Parallel from the Multiverse. UB Spore.
Trainers, now that you're cleared from the decontamination unit, you can join me on this side of the wall. We can observe UB Spore safely from here, and try to figure out their plan of attack. Not sure why I'm surprised, but UB Spore is a lot tinier than I was expecting, which increases the potential danger brought on by this Pokemon to a degree we may have never seen before. Obviously, they're also very light, which is beneficial for the species. They're taken on the wind and could land anywhere, making fighting a potential outbreak quite difficult if we don't mobilize quickly and efficiently. I'll admit, this situation looks bad, but we've got science on our side. I'll keep safe and continue observation from afar. For now, I can track that this thing is probably a grass or poison type, and is probably the first stage in its evolutionary line as well. How it evolves, we'll have to wait and see, but be ready on standby if outbreak occurs. To help us navigate and record our process, I called in my friend Viola. She's a talented photographer and a bug-type specialist turned gym leader who's documenting UB Spore for our records. The short of it is that without any outside stimulation, UB Spore showed no signs of evolving.
That's when we got outside word of a potential evolution.
Reports say that strange U.Bs began to congregate in dark spaces, wandering aimlessly until startled by sound. Apparently these Pokemon have extremely poor vision and are trying to mimic humankind. Trainers, stay low and quiet, observe and react.
Parallel from the Multiverse. UB Skulker.
It's been several weeks since you brought in that first specimen, and we've been able to observe UB Skulker in our own facility, while I have other professionals watching out for them in the field. UB Skulker is the evolved form of UB Spore, and what a leap it's made. The creature walks around with a strange gait, and with limited vision, employs strange clicking sounds by snapping their mandibles together. At first, we believed they were trying to communicate, but it turned out they were instead using echolocation to find and capture prey. While not wholly intelligent, the Pokemon seems to work better when grouped up, activating some sort of hive mind so long as there are spores in the air. The one we have here in the lab has become largely immobile due in part to the fact that it receives no outside stimulus. So who's to say if it'll evolve? However, reports are saying that...
Professor, incoming transmission.
Special teams of ace trainers have been employed under the command of Lieutenant Surge, a decorated military leader who was the first on site for the appearance of this dangerous UB.
Is this UB that dangerous? Can he stop it?
If there's any man who can get this kind of job done, it's him. However, no matter the threat, there is always an optimal way to handle it correctly. That's why we're on site. This one's tricky though. This UB has been dispersing UB Spore as it takes damage, an obvious defense mechanism if I've ever seen one. Who's to say what it'll do to survive a KO?
Parallel from the Multiverse. UB Thrasher.
After we cordoned off the site of the Ultra Wormhole, we were free to operate as we saw fit. Things were going well until Lieutenant Surge issued an attack of opportunity. UB Thrasher was KO'd, and upon its body hitting the ground, its fungal armor erupted with spores on impact. It seems that the Pokemon grows incredibly violent as its fungal plating grows more and more cumbersome to wield. Like UB Skulkers, this Pokemon also has poor vision which further agitates it, and as such goes berserk to dominate its foe. I'll need to study how it evolved, and how to prevent further infection in the wild. We'll start with quarantining sectors, and engineering a vaccine built off the back of Pokerus, which in our initial trials have been going very well. For now, we'll have to keep a watchful eye on UB Thrasher and figure out its typing to further play into its weakness if it gets out of hand again.
Professor's orders, Toasty here to assign the question of the day. What real-world mushroom could we use to design us a new Pokemon? Describe them in full for extra credit. Be sure to comment your reply below by end of day. Cordyception, the infectious Pokemon.
Cordyception are very simple organisms that are unaware of the danger that they'll eventually bring. Using its large parasol-like cap, it is taken across the air by wind to lay its spores across vast expanses. This method of travel can also be a detriment, as they are so light they cannot control where they go.
Cordyclick, the erratic Pokemon.
Cordyclick have incredibly poor eyesight and rely on echolocation to find its prey by sending out clicks made by their mandibles. They reserve their energy for when they find a target, expending much of it in pursuit. If they fail, they take days to recharge before wandering again.
Cordycluster, the erupting Pokemon.
Cordycluster are born when a Cordyclick is able to absorb enough energy from a series of prey. They are highly volatile and prone to self-destruct, using their massive forearms to batter foes until their fungal plating deteriorates. It fights till its last breath, and when fainted, releases a cluster of spores in its wake.
Registration complete.
Perfect.
Thank you, trainers, for taking the time and joining me on today's excursions into the past and the future. I've been Bonny,
And I've been Toasty.
and we appreciate all your support on our work. Until next time,
Don't be late.
The foundlings are the future.
This is the way.